We're back with another edition of the Coach Dave Jacobs Show here on 1480 WJBM. It's brought to you by Sinclair Foods, and we bring in Coach Jacobs after a win on Friday night.
Yeah, how about it? Our kids really happy with how our kids played, and great atmosphere, and good for the boys to get a homecoming win.
Yeah, you got a turnover very early on, and then you were able to convert with points, a one-play drive with Drew Sauerwein running the ball in, and he would do a lot of running on Friday night.
Yeah, I told him before the game that we were going to saddle him up and ride him a little bit, but I mean, I looked at the stats. I think he had 28 carries, so I didn't want to ride him that much, but he really showed his toughness, and our offensive line did a great job for him, and we had some different formations in and just some different stuff to kind of showcase him a little bit, and our kids executed well. I thought our defense played a lot better. I mean, the score is not indicative of the game. It was 35-10 at one point, and they got a couple there late. But all in all, I'm really proud of our kids, and boy, they sure deserved it.
And you mentioned in last week's show that you really wanted to get your running game going. Was it intended to be, give the ball to the quarterback and let him take care of everything?
Yeah, I mean, Drew's shown that he can run. I mean, he can play tailback, I mean, if needed, and we kind of did some of this stuff with Mitch Kimball when we had Mitch, and we're just we're just having a hard time finding that one running back, and we just decided to put some different stuff in and let Drew be that running back, and he did a great job.
Is it something that you could do all season long? Probably not. Put your quarterback in that situation where he gets hit a lot.
Well, I mean, Drew's tough enough to do that, but he is a sophomore. I think I'm excited about what he's able to do, and as we continue to grow and build over these next couple of years, I mean, he's certainly capable of doing that because he's getting smarter on getting rid of the ball and not taking hits when he doesn't have to. He's doing a lot better job of getting out of bounds when he gets strung out, and as long as he's doing that, he's going to be very capable. And our receivers are good, and they're going defenses are going to have to go out and defend them, and it's going to open up stuff. So I thought we were hard to defend for them on Friday, and it's something that we're going to continue to build on.
You also use Chase Murray as a running back, and he offers a little bit a different look than the other guys you've used.
Yeah, and again, I mean, we're just we don't have that Austin Lolos out there who just ran angry, to be honest with you. And when he hit the hole, he hit it, but when there wasn't one, he would bounce it and still be able to go get something. And for whatever reason, we don't have that guy this year, and so I mean, we're constantly coaching and tweaking things and trying to find ways for our boys to be successful.
When you get late in the season like this, and the JV season's coming to an end, will you bring up some of those JV players that maybe could fill a role like that?
Well, I mean, most of our guys on the varsity are JV guys, and by the way, it's exciting for the program. I know our varsity is struggling with a young team, but our JV is 5-2, and so you look at the younger kids that aren't playing varsity, and they're winning without the young kids that are playing varsity, and it just like we've talked about, we got to keep building and get through it, and we're excited about the future.
Well, there are some kids. I mean, if they're a 5-2 team, that would tell me that there's maybe a few kids that could help out at the varsity level.
No question. And they come and practice with us at least the last half hour of the day every day, and they give us good looks. But we don't want to keep robbing from the JV for varsity, because our goal is that all the kids are playing. I mean, and we want them playing a lot. So. That's and I'm happy with that part of our program right now, because if you're not playing varsity, you're playing JV, and you're playing a lot, and those kids are having some success. So I'm excited about that.
You got Blake Whitman back after he missed a week, and he was pivotal, made a couple of, one was a very good catch in the corner of the end zone. Another one was, I can't wait for that ball to get here to me so I can run away from these people. He was wide open.
Yeah, Blake's such a great kid and a good player, and again, he's the Sauerwein Whitman connection is something that those guys have done for a long time, and we were happy to get Blake back, and he really worked hard at getting back, and that catch he made in that back corner was one of the best I've seen, and he's had some good ones, but that one, how he got his foot down on that back corner and was able to snag it. And Drew made a great throw too. He put the ball where it needed to be, and stuff like that is just it's pretty fun to watch.
Well, it wasn't like you see the NFL games and they throw that little fade that the receiver has to tiptoe the sideline, and maybe it's a 10 or 12 yard route. This was a pattern where he was running across the back of the end zone, and he was running at pretty much full speed when the ball got there, and he still had to get those toes down.
Yeah, and that's a timing thing. He's really not open when Drew throws it. Drew throws him open, and the other two receivers did a nice job of occupying their defender, which put Blake one-on-one on his, and we were able to get it to that back corner. And Derek Hill made a great catch too early on in the game. So our kids are making plays.
I remember when I was pick up my son from practice, and the quarterback at the time, Billy Ritchie, and some of his wide receivers, Austin Turman and Kyle Albertino. After practice was over, they would be out throwing passes into the corner of the end zone. Is that something kids still do now?
Oh yeah, our receiving core with Drew Sauerwein, the quarterback, they are always staying after practice and throwing and playing catch, and sometimes just kind of hanging out playing catch. But they love football. They love it, and it shows. And they're constantly working on their game and hanging out, and that's what makes them special. The kids that do that extra work.
That 75-yard pass play where Blake caught the one where he was wide open, that's more of an example of your quarterback running out of the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield.
Yeah, and that was a designed a naked bootleg. And the truth be known, Drew got flushed, and there was a kid in his face, and he made a great move to elude that tackler, and he was looking somewhere else, and I'm just screaming the backside post, and you could see on film he just stopped and looked and let her rip, and it was there. Blake did a great job on the backside of that. He put a move on the corner, and the corner fell down. It was like the sniper got him, and Blake took off, and he was so open. Yeah, and sometimes that ball's in the air forever.
And it seemed like it was. It took a while for it to get to him. When he did, he was able to run away with it. You got a big lead. Playing with a lead, a multiple touchdown lead, is it comfortable? Is it ever comfortable for a coach? Did you want to just get into your power running package and go with that the rest of the game?
I don't know. It just depends on the situation. It's a lot more fun to play with the lead late in the game than to have to come from behind, because your playbook's open. But we had some good stuff that we were running with the quarterback running game, and to me that's just as good without having to hand it off. We did get into our stack eye, our muscle stuff, and we're able to get some first downs and just eat the clock. And there at the end, I was debating. I know he had one timeout left, and
were you wondering why he didn't use it earlier?
Yeah, and I found out later, but he kind of surrendered, when they were running the ball, and I didn't think that would happen that early, but. So when we had the injured player go down, we were out there talking a little bit, and I said, "Were you ever going to take your last time out?" And he said, "No, he was ready to go home." So I wish I'd have known that, and because we would probably gotten our victory formation, taken a knee and run the clock. I was just trying to get first downs to make him burn that last one, so we could take the knee.
Yeah, I didn't know what the protocol is there. I knew he had one timeout left, but then. When he didn't call it after your first down play, I was thinking, well, I guess he's not going to call it. We might as well just take a knee now. but you don't know that for sure.
Right.
So you just want to, get a first down. It turns out it was a fumble recovery for a touchdown and run back. So is there something, do you have assistant coaches reminding you that the other team is out of timeouts, or is that something you keep? Do you have a coach that's just watching stuff like that?
I know. I mean, the official to our side, they always, if you ask them how many timeouts they have, they have a good record of that. I knew he had one. But again, the score wasn't indicative of how dominant our kids were, I guess. We had they had the one touchdown, was 3rd and 25, and we had 3 kids around their receiver, and
like they were afraid, I don't want to take this tackle away from you.
Yeah.
You tackle him.
Yeah, and 3rd and 25, and that's the ball game, and we let him slip, and then we had the unfortunate fumble and them running it back to give them 2 scores late, but it's just you want to be able to enjoy a win. It was hard to.
It was another key point in the game when there was a punt by their team that pinned you inside the 1 yard line. I mean, it was probably the most fortuitous rolling punt I've ever seen, where it just stopped right there inside the 1. And you were able to, not put a scoring drive together, but you were able to get a first down and get some breathing room.
Yeah, and Tyler Byers did a great job of running the ball. He's again, one of our good, tough sophomores, and he runs hard. He runs hard, and we were able to get it out of there, which was a good sign. And I was really proud of the kids. Our punt return guy, I mean, we tell him not to field a punt inside the 10. At the 10, and it was right there. So, I think, he was kind of caught. Do I field it or not? And so he didn't. And then, like you're saying, they got the perfect roll, and it's sitting there on the half-yard line. But
and you also probably tell them not to, if you can't catch it in the air, don't try to catch it on a bounce either.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of a judgment thing. If you get, sometimes if you especially get that rugby punt where it's the end over end and it bounces and you get a good hop, I like those. But if there's any doubt, again, but we always have, not always, but we try to have 2 punt return guys back there. And the first one is to, get in front of him to make sure that he can block the first guy, at least to get it started. And, when that works, it's fine. Cause I've been really pleased with our special teams play. We had all of our extra points, and those ended up to be big. And I thought Blake punted the ball well. Our kickoff coverage was good. Jacob Brady took a heck of a shot on that onside kick that they got. He went up and got it. Another sophomore making a great play. And there's just some great opportunities for kids.
Do you talk about the opportunity to maybe call for a fair catch on a play like that?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, but if it hits the ground, I mean, that kid hit it just
did
right.
That hit the ground?
Yeah,
okay.
He popped it and it went straight up in the air. And those things, the front line of, when you have your 2 lines of your onside kick, that front line, if they can't field it, their job is to block, step in front, and then the other guys are supposed to, on the other back line guys are supposed to come and get on top of the guy, so they're not reaching for it. But Jake went up and high pointed that thing and got it and took a shot, and he's another sophomore that is really coming on, and I really thought AJ Shaw, another sophomore, played outside linebacker for us, so he's really coming on strong. So again, our pups found a way to get one, and they battled, and was really proud of the kids, and the student body hung with us and came out and celebrated, and it was just a good feeling for the boys.
We would be remiss if we didn't update our fans about the status of a couple of players. There was a special teams play, I think, in the first half where someone got laid out pretty well, and he was down for just a little bit. And then at the end of the game, there was a long delay with someone getting treated. You just wanted to update their status, and they're all doing well.
Yeah, both of those guys are doing well. Again, they're tough kids, and both of them were at the homecoming dance on Saturday, and we're at film, so on Saturday morning, so everybody is fine.
We're going to take a break right now. We'll come back with more of the Coach Dave Jacobs Show, brought to you by Sinclair Foods. Sinclair Foods has been a staple in Jersey County for many years. They're a store where you can count on quality meats, the freshest produce, and a bakery that still bakes its cakes from scratch. The small town atmosphere is still at Sinclair's, where they still deliver groceries on Wednesday, and your groceries are bagged for you and carried to your car. On a night when you can't cook, check out delicious Champs Fried Chicken in the deli and other delicious entrees and salads. Sinclair Foods, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Final week of conference play finds the Jersey Panthers heading to Highland to take on the Bulldogs, and they had their biggest game of the year this past weekend when they play their arch rival Triad Knights, and Triad came away with a close win in that game.
Yeah, they're good rivals, and I was a little surprised that the score was only 13-3. But those guys are very physical, and I actually haven't watched that game yet. I watched the CM game because they run our offense, and it's easier for us to see how they line up. But Highland's typical Highland. I mean, they're big, and I think they're facing a little injury bug. I think their tailback is out with an injury, and I think their quarterback might be out as well. So those are kind of equalizers for us. I mean, you hate to see kids get hurt, but for us, I mean, I think that helps. When they don't have a couple of their really good players, and our kids, we got a great plan for them this week, and I look to keep getting better.
It might be a difficult chore for the Highland coach to try to get his players motivated because they lose a heartbreaker to Triad, which more or less takes them out of the Mississippi Valley Conference title hunt. It also removes them from any chances of being undefeated. I guess the only thing they're playing for is a home field advantage, and even with one loss, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a home game. So they might be distracted a little bit going into this matchup.
Well, they're going to root for CM to beat Triad this week, and if so, then they all have a share of it. So they're still playing, and I don't know who they play week 9, but this might be their senior night. So they'll have a great crowd, and they're getting ready for the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to let up at all.
Do they, if they have some people banged up and want to protect those people a little bit, I guess they'll probably do the normal procedure. If they get a comfortable lead, they'll rest them, but I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to be in the lineup if they can go.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do, and hopefully, we can make a good ball game of it and hang around and be there in the second half. I think last year when we played them, I mean, they had a solid team, and I think we were going down to score, and we were going to be within 8 points of them with 4 minutes to go in the game. So I know that was last year, but our kids know how to play Highland, and we'll have a great game plan for them, and again, our kids have some confidence and can kind of take a deep breath and they got the monkey off their back, and we're excited to go and play a playoff team to see kind of where we're at now, and then we'll finish up with Mattoon on week 9.
A good homecoming win for the Jersey Panthers. Now they go on the road for the final time this season. Before we know it, we'll be wrapping up the season with a home game versus Mattoon. We hope to put some wins together. Coach Dave Jacobs, thanks for being with us again this morning.
Thank you.